Why don't we see more men taking their wives' names? If you're a woman in a heterosexual relationship, I challenge you to ask your boyfriend if he would consider taking your name when you get married. And watch his reaction, because most men act like it would be some kind of humiliation ritual to have to take a woman's name.
So definitely go back and watch Haley's video if you haven't already seen it. It's really good, and it makes a great point that I had never really considered. How the tradition of women taking their husband's name in heterosexual marriages obscures the work, achievements, history, and legacy of our grandmothers and great-grandmothers under maiden names that are often lost and forgotten. But also how, for the most part, the question of men changing their names just isn't really brought up at all. Then there's the attitude that men have towards the whole thing, of wives taking their husband's name, where there's still this sense of coverture, of covering your wife with your family name, a sense of power and ownership over her. And while that gets denied and dismissed, it is instantly revealed, as Haley points out, the moment you suggest a man take his wife's name. And he responds by feeling that this is degrading or emasculating. The whole tradition is treated as a foregone conclusion that isn't even worth discussing. But it's actually a very important conversation to have, and one that me and my wife had very early on. I suggested to her that I wanted to take her name, and playfully referred to myself as Mr. and her last name. She thought about it, and we both knew that we didn't want her to just take my last name. We played with hyphenating our names, and she even tried coming up with new names that were based on combinations of our two family names. My wife was raised by an adoptive family, and we came to realize the point that even her name wasn't hers. It was her adoptive father's. And no matter what variation we came up with of our family names, it was still based on the same combination. The names of the men in my family and the names of the men in her adoptive father's family. There really wasn't a contribution that was uniquely hers. And from there to the point that nothing said we had to use either name. That you can change your name with the court and then change it to whatever you want. So since we were both going to go through the process of changing our name, that it should be something that we were both excited about, that was meaningful, and that my wife could contribute to. So we picked a new family name to symbolize our new union and our partnership, and something that we chose together in agreement and harmony, in the spirit of starting this marriage as we mean to continue. And whenever we share this story, the feedback is always, I love that idea and I wish we had done something similar. And I realize that for some people that sense of family and history is an important part of their story, so this wouldn't be a fit. But I'm very grateful that this is something that me and my wife were aligned on, that we were both excited about, to build our own thing and adapt a very passive patriarchal tradition and turn it into something more collaborative and intentional, and setting that foundation that in this marriage we would approach everything as a conversation, a discussion, starting from a place of equality and mutual respect, and then doing our best to honor that every day since.